There was a time when the most radical act in art was to add something new. A new color, a new technique, a new way of seeing the world. Innovation meant expansion. Artists pushed outward, searching for new visual languages and unexplored possibilities. But today, the most radical artistic act may be the opposite. Instead of adding more images to an already saturated world, some artists are choosing to remove. Across studios, galleries, and small artist collectives, something unusual is happening. Artists are quietly disconnecting from the systems that once amplified their work. They are stepping away from endless feeds, reducing their visual language and stripping their work down to essential forms. This shift has no single manifesto and no central leader, but it is increasingly visible across contemporary practice. It has come to be known as digital minimalism. To understand why this movement matters, we first need to understand the environment artists now inhabit. Images today rarely live slowly. They appear on screens, flash past the viewer, and vanish within seconds. The lifespan of an image has been compressed into a moment of scrolling attention. Art now exists inside what economists call the attention economy, where visibility depends not on depth but on speed. In the attention economy, algorithms reward what is immediate. Bright colors, bold contrasts, and instantly recognizable imagery tend to perform best. The goal is not reflection or contemplation, but retention. If an image holds attention for even 3 seconds, it is often considered successful by the metrics that dominate digital platforms. Within this environment, subtlety struggles to survive. For artists, this transformation changes the meaning of visibility. A painting is no longer simply a physical object on a wall. It is also a thumbnail, a post, a fragment of content competing within an endless feed. Sculptures become photographic backdrops. Installations become shareable moments. The traditional gallery wall has been partially replaced by the vertical scroll of the smartphone. The consequence is a form of sensory saturation. Thousands of images pass through the eye each day, yet very few remain in memory. We encounter more visual information than any generation before us, yet our capacity to truly look has diminished. In this environment, the viewer becomes less a contemplative observer and more a rapid consumer of images. For many artists, this saturation produces a growing sense of fatigue. The more images circulate online, the less meaning each individual image appears to hold. A painting that once invited quiet observation now appears beside advertisements, memes, and viral clips. Within the digital feed, all visual material begins to flatten into the same category: content. This is where the quiet rebellion begins. Instead of responding to digital saturation by producing louder work, some artists respond by producing less. Instead of increasing visual intensity, they reduce it. Their works feature restrained compositions, subtle textures, and deliberate emptiness. In a world full of noise, restraint becomes a form of resistance. In certain studios, this resistance takes very practical forms. Artists deliberately limit their tools and workflows. Some avoid digital editing software entirely. Others choose not to document their work online. In extreme cases, artists refuse photography altogether. The artwork exists only within the physical space where it was created and experienced. This gesture may appear new, but it echoes earlier moments in art history. More than a century ago, artists also faced a world transformed by technological acceleration. Factories expanded, machines reshaped labor, and industrial production altered the rhythm of everyday life. Artists responded not by embracing these systems uncritically, but by challenging them. In 1916, within a small cafe in Zurich, a group of artists launched a movement known as Dada. Dada rejected the logic and rationality that dominated industrial society. Its artists embraced absurdity, fragmentation, and disruption. At first glance, their works appeared chaotic, but their deeper intention was clear: to break the systems that shaped modern perception. Dada was loud, provocative, and intentionally disruptive. But its underlying principle remains relevant today. When a cultural system becomes overwhelming, Artists often respond by breaking its rules. They challenge its assumptions and expose its hidden structures. In doing so, they open space for new forms of perception. Today's artists face a system very different from the factories of the early 20th century. Instead of machines producing physical goods, we now encounter algorithms producing streams of information. These invisible systems determine which images appear, which gain visibility, and which quietly disappear from public view. Digital platforms are designed to remove friction from the experience of viewing. The feed is infinite. Images appear instantly. The viewer moves from one image to another without pause. Yet art has historically depended on precisely the opposite condition, the pause. The moment when the eye stops moving and begins to observe. Digital minimalism attempts to restore this pause. Instead of overwhelming the viewer with visual stimulation, it offers emptiness and restraint. Instead of filling every surface with information, it creates space. The artwork becomes a small island of quiet attention within an environment defined by speed. Negative space has always played an important role in art. Painters have long used emptiness to guide the viewer's gaze and shape visual rhythm. But in the digital age, emptiness takes on a new meaning. A minimalist artwork can appear almost invisible when viewed through the lens of algorithmic culture. Such works do not compete well inside the digital feed. They do not demand immediate attention, and they rarely generate instant reactions. Yet this apparent weakness becomes their strength. By refusing to conform to the logic of digital visibility, these works create a different relationship between artist and viewer. Many artists pursuing digital minimalism also return to physical materials. Rough canvas, handmade paper, stone, clay, and pigment introduce textures that resist digital translation. These surfaces contain subtle details that cannot be fully captured by screens. To experience them properly, the viewer must be physically present. This return to physical presence has helped revive an idea sometimes described as slow art. Slow art emphasizes duration rather than speed. It invites viewers to spend extended time with a single work, allowing perception to unfold gradually rather than instantly. In certain exhibitions dedicated to slow art, visitors are encouraged to spend 10 minutes observing a single artwork. At first, this instruction can feel unusual, even uncomfortable. Yet after several minutes, something begins to change. The viewer notices details that were invisible at first glance. When attention slows, perception deepens. Colors appear more complex. Textures reveal subtle variations. Small compositional decisions begin to emerge. What initially looked simple gradually unfolds into something far richer than expected. The artwork becomes less like an image and more like an experience. Digital minimalism does not necessarily reject technology itself. Many artists involved in this movement still rely on digital tools during parts of their process. What they reject is the idea that algorithms should determine the rhythm of artistic production or the way viewers encounter art. In a culture built around constant connection, disconnection becomes rare and valuable. Silence becomes a scarce resource. Attention itself becomes a form of luxury. For artists working within digital minimalism, these conditions are not obstacles, but materials with which new forms of art can be created. The future of art may not belong to the loudest images or the fastest trends. Instead, it may belong to the works that ask something quieter from us. Pause. Look longer. Step outside the rhythm of the feed. And remember what it feels like to truly see. If this video made you pause and see things a little differently, you might enjoy the other essays on this channel. They explore the quiet ideas that shape art, images, and visual culture. You can find them here on Crossroads of Art.